Welcome, you're watching Don Bosco Media Network. This is Molly Sarambai, bringing you the Salesian news across the globe. Salesian Missions, the U.S. development arm of the Salesians of Don Bosco, joins humanitarian organizations and countries around the globe in honoring International Day of People with Disabilities. Since its inception in 1945, the United Nations has outlined and reiterated its commitment to calling for the creation of inclusive, accessible and sustainable societies and communities. In 1981, the UN proclaimed December 3rd as a recognized day for the celebration of the achievements of people living with disabilities across the world. Almost 1 billion people, or 15% of the world's population, are living with a disability according to the World Health Organization (WHO) World Report on Disability. Nearly 250 million are living with a mental or neurological condition, and almost two-thirds of these people will not seek professional medical help, largely due to stigma, discrimination and neglect. This year's theme, Transformative Solutions for Inclusive Development, the role of innovation in fueling an accessible and equitable world, focuses on innovation for inclusive development in the areas of employment, reducing inequality, and sport as a practice example. Almost 10,000 people in the North Argentina province, ARN, are involved in Salesian initiatives that work with young people in vulnerable contexts. There are 88 different proposals active throughout the ARN territory. From 18th to 20th November last, 35 representatives of various houses involved in assisting vulnerable young people met in Cordoba to continue to strengthen this important dimension of Salesian pastoral care. These were intense days during which the participants were encouraged to set out, leave their own walls, comfort zones and reach the peripheries. At the end of the meeting, the representatives of the initiatives agreed that these meetings are essential to carry forward the projects and work begun. On 23rd and 24th November, the Research Center on Judaism of the Second Temple of the Catholic University of Lublin organized a scientific conference entitled From the Book of Enoch to the Fourth Sibylline Book, in the commemoration of the life and work of the late Professor Dr. Rizet Rubin Kiewicz, SDB, 1939 to 2011. Rubin Kiewicz worked from 1978 to 2011. With his work, he laid the foundations for the study of the Old Testament Apocrypha in Poland, contributing to the development of this discipline at an international level. The conference also included reports on the apocalyptic book of Enoch, which, starting from the 3rd century BC, opens a long list of apocalyptic compositions in ancient Israel that had a significant influence on the formation of eschatological and messianic ideas in the New Testament. Professor Rubin Kiewicz pioneered scientific research on this book in Poland, and his monograph is still today the standard study on the context of the New Testament in relation to Jewish apocalyptic literature. On the 12th of November, the National Federation of the Past Pupils and Friends of Don Bosco organized a dissemination event on a project, Sea and Coast, Lakes and Shores, Conquering Stress, Anxiety and Grief. This project is co-funded by Erasmus Plus in collaboration with partners from Slovakia, Belgium, Italy and Malta. For this dissemination event, youth organizations, helping professionals and volunteers working with youths were invited to this event. Mr. Louis De Bono, Operations Manager, and Mr. Matthew Get Serenti, researcher of the project, presented an informative toolkit related to the project. The toolkit consists of an overview about grief, anxiety and stress, following several activities related to the sea and its course, lakes and shores, which help youth cope with grief, anxiety and stress. Mr. De Bono gave an overview of the project activities that took place throughout the whole year, whilst Mr. Gat Serenti discussed the research done to get the results of the toolkit. Last weekend, the Oratory of Juarun, a district of Zagreb, hosted the 18th General Assembly of the Salesian Youth Movement (SYM) of Europe and the Middle East, which was attended by about 70 people from 15 countries different, all united by charism of Don Bosco and Mother Mazzarolo for the growth of many young people throughout the continent. Present were the General Councillor for Youth Ministry, Father Miguel Angel Garcia Murquende, and the General Counsellor for Youth Ministry of the FMA, Sister Runita Borja. The SYM of Europe and the Middle East embraces the entire continent and creates joint relationships between Salesians, Daughters of Mary Help of Christians, and young people from many countries. The place chosen for this important event is emblematic. In Joaron, in fact, the Salesians have built a church in memory of the 15,840 Croatians who died during Croatia's War of Independence. So viewers, that is all we have for you today. Until we meet again, thank you for watching.